Hi everyone, my name is Paddy. I'm a coach in the INSS and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the man overboard drill. So the man overboard drill we teach for a few different reasons. First being the most obvious one, somebody falls out of the boat, this is the procedure to scoop them back in. Second reason, it demonstrates speed control. There's a specific leg on this course which speed control is critical in, and as such it reinforces it for students. And lastly, we also teach it for the purposes of it employs all the different points of sail, and as such is a very good litmus test to gauge one's sailing ability. As a coach, I find myself it's a very good test. As well as that, if anyone from the 11 to 14 or 15 plus group, probably more likely, has ambitions of doing the RA Instructor course, this is one of the main things which is assessed on the pre-entry itself. As I said previously, it demonstrates all the different points of sailing, speed control. 5 essentials can be brought into this, so it's a very good test for one's competence, you may as well say. So I'll take you through it now. Okay, so just a few side notes before we get started on this tutorial. The first one is we need to take this one slow. There's absolutely no advantage in rushing your decision making and then consequently making a mistake and putting yourself at risk. We already have one person in the water, we don't want more than one. And secondly, the question I'm often asked from students, why don't we just spin around? Well, firstly, it's risky. We don't want to miss the man overboard, and this manoeuvre will give us the best chance of recovery. Equally so, we also don't want to get back around to them and find out we're going too quick that we could incur injury. So we use this manoeuvre instead. Okay, so the procedure itself is as follows. There are a few different steps on my Monopoly themes diagram here. So step number 1, when the man overboard comes out the other end, if you're on a dinghy, you signal man overboard by shouting it so other dinghies can hear, or other boats in the general area. If you're on a keelboat, you want to radio the Coast Guard or send out a message basically saying that somebody's gone over. Okay? At this point as well, I nearly forgot to mention that you want to, if you have a furling jib, you want to furl that back up, and if it's not furling, you just let it off completely. The reason for this is it's a lot easier to control, and say if you're in a double-hander like a Vibe or can't think now, Pico with a jib for instance, like there are in pool bag, you'll find it a lot more difficult if there's just one person in the boat to control both the mainsail and the jib itself. So best thing is either furl it or just let it off and let it flap. Alright? So, and as well as that, if surrounding boats see a furled jib, they generally speaking know it's a case where somebody's gone overboard. Alright? So, signaling out of the way, we then turn to step 2, which is sail 8 to 10 boat lengths away from the man overboard on a beam reach. Okay, so that's sail halfway in, halfway out. If you're in a dinghy, you're sitting in the middle of the boat, and the daggerboard or centerboard is halfway in, halfway out. Okay. Step 3 is we go for a granny sack around and then back down. We don't go for a jibe because a jibe is usually it's a much more quicker motion, and quick, generally speaking, here can be applied to mean uncontrolled, and the last thing we want here is a boat which is out of control, especially when there's one person in it. Okay? Essentially, we've already got one person who's fell out, we don't want a second person. Okay? So the reason we go for a granny sack is slow yourself down, and it's a lot easier to control as well. Alright? So step number 4, we start to angle downwind on a broad reach till we get to about here. midway between where your granny sacks and the man overboard is, okay? Now, this is the tricky bit. Step 5, find the correct angle, which is usually about 90 degrees. We start angling ourselves up till we get on a close reach. As I spoke to you in the intro, is also the bit where you need to pay attention to your speed control, okay? This part will involve you using the sail, letting it out and pulling it back in again to make sure you're at the right speed, okay? So you're not going too fast, so you miss the mark, and at the same time you're not going too slow, which you'll just drift back again, okay? So you want to be going at a decent enough speed, but slowing down gradually, bearing away a bit, pointing back up if you feel yourself losing speed, until you arrive at the man overboard and you're stationary, which means you've stopped completely, okay? You then, from this point, lie to, and then pull the man overboard back inside, okay? Okay, so when I say lying to, what does that mean? Well, lying to means the boom must be heading in the same direction as the wind is. We do this so the boat is stopped. Why do we lie to as opposed to going head to wind then? Well, when we're lying to, we're stopped, and we can easily from here get back into going on a beam reach or another point of sail. Whereas when we're head to wind, it's a lot more difficult to maneuver out of this situation. When we're lifting the man overboard back in, take care not to accidentally tack over to them. Why? It's fairly simple. We could cause a potential injury or a further one if they're already suffered a knock on the head. As well as this, be careful not to end up head to wind, as if we need to maneuver out of this situation quickly, being head to wind is putting us in a situation where we have to spend more time and waste more time trying to get out of this. When we're lifting them back in, lift them on the windward side. We do this as the boom is on the other side of the boat and the boat is a lot less likely to tip over. Equally so, the boom being on the other side keeps there from being any obstructions in the way of the man overboard as they're getting back in.